Today's broadcast is produced entirely by the students at Southeast High School in partnership with Kaiser University.
Hello and welcome to The Right Direction. Our program highlights what is happening in and around Southeast High School. I'm Jazlynn.
And I'm Liz. Everything that you will see on The Right Direction is produced entirely by the students of the Career Television Production Program of Southeast High School, also known as SCTV.
With us today are two groups of Southeast High School students that use their competitive spirit to make the world a better place for the future, starting with Model United Nations.
Then we'll be joined by the members of our science club.
We'll have that and so much more coming right up.
And remember, when you set your compass to Southeast, you're headed in
the right direction.
Into the sky. Do you think time would pass me by? 'Cause you know I'd walk 1,000 miles if I can just see you.
There are many clubs at Southeast, but this is the only one that prepares students to be the next generation of global leaders. Southeast Model United Nations chapter, also known as MUN, allows students to debate on global affairs. With us today are three individuals who are going to explain what MUN is all about. First, we have Elijah, a senior and president of MUN. He has been involved in this club for 4 years, and it has taught him to tackle social issues relating to healthcare. Next, there's Simone, a sophomore and historian of MUN. She has gained valuable teamwork and communication skills that she will use in her future. Finally, we have Simona, the club's treasurer. She's a sophomore and has been a part of MUN for over 4 years now. Although she hasn't figured out where she wants to go to college, she plans on using the skills she has learned to go into international relations. Hello and welcome to The Right Direction.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Of course. So to start off, kind of explain to us what MUN is and what you do in the club.
Right, so Model United Nations is an extracurricular activity in which students can assume the position of a member of the United Nations, and there they work together with other countries to help tackle certain social justice issues that are happening in the world today.
So do you guys kind of go to conferences and compete about this stuff?
We do. We go to several different conferences, and there's all sorts of levels. There's high school, there's also high school mixed with collegiate levels, and you kind of get to interact with kids and teens of all ages and young adults to kind of explore the issues you've chosen.
So what kind of do you guys have to prepare to do this? Is there any sort of research techniques that you use to prepare yourselves for all these conferences?
So basically before our conference, we read a position paper about our country that we chose. So we basically explain how our country feels about the issue, what we've taken to address that issue. So that helps us prepare what our country thinks about the issue before we head into a conference.
Awesome. So when you're at the conference, is it kind of do you guys divide yourselves into different groups? Like you were saying, how you kind of take a role as a United Nations person. Do you have any type of separation to see all the different people?
Right, so before each conference, they are designated a different committee, and those committees are, geared towards a certain area in social justice. So there will be healthcare, there will be environmental issues, and within each committee, there will be those different countries that will have alliances with other countries. So one of the main things that it's important for our members to remember is that they have to pair themselves with countries that are allied with them in real life.
Okay, so what kind of things have you guys personally learned in MUN?
Definitely communication skills and compromises, working with a different country and their different laws and the different government issues. You have to learn to compromise to reach a common goal, as well as public speaking. You're up in front of anywhere between, let's say, 20 to 60 people in a room, and you have to be able to present your ideas in a certain amount of time, and you have to get the right information out there.
Awesome. So have you guys, with all these conferences, I know you guys have been here for 2 years and 4 years, have you won any achievements or anything at these conferences?
So that's the thing with Model United Nations. We are a very small chapter, and I would love to see the chapter grow even after I graduate. I know these two will have a lot to do with that, but it's not necessarily the awards that are incentivizing us to continue in this club. It's really the morale or the camaraderie that we create between our members and just the collaborative skills that we are able to hone and create through this club that really attracts people to it.
So you're saying your goal is like for the future generations of the club to kind of grow. Do you guys have any personal goals that you want to see in the club for your next 2 years?
Definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing the club expand and adding new members and kind of building those skills with them so they can take on after us, but also potentially working our way up to earn sort of an achievement goal such as honorable delegations and the best delegations out there during states conferences, you know, for an entire like 5 or 6 people that delegate one country in different areas. You can earn certain awards for that. So,
do you have any personal goals?
I mean, just like what Simona said, like just see like more members joining MUN and, you know, pass on that dedication and that drive to, you know, work towards actual issues that are impacting our world right now.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Simona, you said that you've been a part of MUN for 4 years now. How did that kind of work, seeing that you're only a sophomore?
well, there is actually a Florida middle school Model United Nations where kids in 6th grade can join, and they can do it all through middle school and high school. And in middle school, it's the same thing, same conferences, you have to write position papers, the same sort of issues get talked about. So it's definitely for middle school, it's a club that's a little bit above and beyond the level where you're expected to be.
For these position papers that you guys have been talking about, what kind of information do you have to put in those for the conferences, or can you explain what those are kind of about?
Right, so Simone touched on this earlier, but we definitely have to include our country's position on a certain topic, as well as certain legislation or policies that our country has taken in order to solve that issue and what they'd like to see done in the future. In addition to position papers, we encourage our members to also, read up on different NGOs that might be relevant to the topic at hand, as well as any potential, paths that resolutions might take in the actual conference session.
Okay, so I know that you guys kind of touched on communication and cooperation. Are there any skills relating to school that you guys have learned through MUN to help your school and your future later on?
I definitely learned the power of teamwork, because it's kind of challenging to collaborate with different people, especially if they represent different countries' views, and having to grapple with that and build my skills with that, and really help me with group projects and different things at school.
Okay, so what is your favorite memory being in MUN so far?
It would probably be last year at States. You can only attend States when you're in high school, so it's definitely a fun experience, and we had some pretty fun team bonding, not exercise, just experiences where one night it was late and we went to Denny's and just got, the whole team got pancakes and waffles, and then we had another time where everybody from the club that went gathered into one room and we just played Cards Against Humanity, or having 40 people enter in one hotel room and then running down halls and chucking high heels at people.
Do you have a favorite memory, Simone?
I do. So basically in States Model, and you have these things called candygrams, where you can pay $1 to send a candy and a message to someone in a different committee. So I sent one to Elijah last year, and I asked him to rap a specific song. So his committee actually, blasted audio, and he actually got to rap the song in front of 40 different delegates. So
and what song was this that you had to rap?
She told me to rap Plain Jane.
Love that. So how can new members join MUN for next year and for future years to come?
Right, so next year I'm assuming Mr. Scruton will still be our advisor. He's in the upstairs 800 building, so any of those potential members that are interested to join Model United Nations can go to his room. I know that these two will be officers next year, and they will decide the respective initial meeting dates, and they'll just give interested people just the rundown of what happens in Model United Nations.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming and joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Don't change the channel just yet. We'll be right back with more that you won't want to miss.
Garbage on our campus is literally the worst.
This month's Student Showcase features senior Sebastian Tavalera. We had Television 4 students produce how-to videos using multiple cameras. If you want to learn how to make authentic Peruvian ceviche, here's Sebastian.
My name's Sebastian. I'll be making ceviche for you today. Ceviche is a Peruvian dish where you mix fresh herbs and vegetables with bite-sized pieces of fish and cook it in a lime milk concoction. I'm going to start by telling you the ingredients from left to right. Cilantro, red onion, lime, a pepper from Peru called ají, garlic, white fish, milk, fish stock, all natural sea salt, and black pepper. We're going to start by cutting up the cilantro. The cilantro should be finely chopped and plentiful. After the cilantro, we'll cut up the garlic. The garlic should be crushed and minced. The amount in this is a personal preference, though to 1 pound of fish is roughly 1 to 1.5 heads of cilantro and 2 cloves of garlic. I personally like more cilantro and more garlic, so I did 3 cloves of garlic and 2 heads of cilantro. Now we'll add the chili paste. It's 1 tablespoon of chili paste per pound of fish, but you can add more if you like it spicy. And then we'll cut up the onions. Use either 1 whole small red onion or half of a big one. They should be thinly sliced. The onions we'll put on a separate plate and save for later. Now we'll cut the fish into bite-sized pieces. We'll put the fish in a separate bowl and also save it for later. And now we'll squeeze the limes. I hand squeezed all the limes, though you can use a squeezer to speed up the process. I'm using 1 pound of fish and 10 limes. You want roughly half to a full cup of juice. Again, it's your personal preference. We'll now salt the limed fish and mix it. You want to make sure the fish gets soaked in the lime. After that, we'll pepper the top. Not too much, just enough to add flavor. And now we'll add 2 tablespoons of milk. The milk helps cut the lime. We're now going to finish up our cilantro garlic concoction. We're going to pour 6 to 7 tablespoons of fish stock in it. The fish stock neutralizes the lime and stops the fish from cooking. But we're not going to add it just yet. Mix up the chili paste, the cilantro, the garlic, and the fish stock, and then add it to the fish. Though you want to let the fish sit in the lime for about 15 to 30 minutes before you do this. It depends on how tough you want your fish. The longer the fish sits in, the longer it cooks and the tougher it gets. Afterwards, you'll mix it together. You'll then add the onion and mix it in. You can add more on top. Again, it's a personal preference, however much you like. And this is the end. You can eat it by itself, or you can serve it with some chips, or even put it in a burrito. Really, it's whatever you want. It's a very versatile food.
There are many clubs and organizations dedicated to bettering our environment, but one club takes it a step further by incorporating academic principles. Southeast Science Club requires its members to research the environment and relies on student curiosity to find solutions to help keep it clean, whether it's from classroom cleanups or environmental competitions. Here with me today, we have 3 exceptional students who are going to explain what Science Club is all about. First, we have Cassandra, the club's president and 4-year senior. She hopes to use the information and skill set she has learned to major in biochemistry and become a medical researcher. Next, we have Wesley, a current senior here at Southeast who has been a member since his junior year. He is a current historian and hopes to pursue a career in the STEM field and explore their sciences. Finally, we have another senior, Lauren, who is a 2-year member and treasurer of the club. She plans to use everything she has learned through competitions and events to pursue a medical career as well. Hello and welcome to The Right Direction.
Hi.
It's great to be here.
Good, I'm glad you guys decided to join me. So to start off, what exactly is Science Club? Can you explain a little to me about what you guys do around campus?
Yeah, so basically Science Club is just a group of students from all different grades, from freshman to senior, and we do different environmental activities within the school and the community, like recycling and cleanups, and then we also compete every year in this one event called the Science Olympiad, and then this year we just added a new event called the Envirothon. So we have 2 competitions each year.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So like you said, I understand that after meetings you guys do participate in classroom cleanups. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and what you guys do for that?
Well, this year and last year, every Wednesday, we go around to different classrooms and pick up the recycling. So it's not like thrown away and put in landfills, and so we have a healthier earth.
Exactly. So that kind of leads into my next question. How are you involved in the community? Are there any other things that you do around the community besides just classroom cleanups, or how does that affect the community around campus?
Yeah, so one thing that we did last year, we had Hurricane Irma, and so the Science Club went around to different beaches in the area, and we actually did cleanups on the beaches to pick up the debris and litter that had been left in the path of the hurricane, and so that really helped with the community, and we actually received a really positive response from a lot of community environmental groups from that.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good for you guys. I'm glad you guys did that for us. And now, like you said before, competition's another big factor of Science Club, right? So how does one exactly prepare for one of those competitions?
Well, this year, we, a group of friends, we met at Starbucks and we did like a group study session for Envirothon this year. And we studied like our various study guides, and we just like talked and like figured out like the game plan for the tests.
So what do you mean by study guides? What do you kind of create from that, or what kind of work do you do to prepare for the competitions?
Well, on the website they have study guides of like material to go over for the events. So we just like take notes. We like take notes and study our own notes for the tests and for competitions.
And we can also find practice tests online from like previous competitions or other competitions that are happening in like regions around the county, and so that's or around the country, and so that's really helpful for kind of knowing what you'll have to know for the tests and being able to rehearse like the information that you've been taking notes on.
So the tests, is that what the competition is?
Well, where we just were at Envirothon last Thursday, there were 4 sections, so we each, only 5 of us, it was a team of 5 could go, so we each divided up our own section. So we studied our own section, and then we went down and we just went around and took the test. So we were able to collaborate with each other, but then we were strongest in our own section. So this whole club, we're able to help each other, but we still develop our own strong knowledge on it.
Yeah, and then in Science Olympiad, there's like testing events, but then there's also practical events. So you might have to build like a device. I know we had to build an instrument outside of the competition and bring it there to be judged. So it's like testing, but then also like practical events.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, are there any experiments involved, or is it just solid testing?
Even last year, Wesley and I built a hovercraft, and it didn't really work, but we tried our best.
And then
it was fun.
And then like there was the hovercraft, but then there was a physics test with it that we take also together.
Oh my gosh, cool.
These events, it's at Science Olympiad, we do it in pairs. So Cassandra and I did an event, Wesley and I had an event where we like took the test together. So it's all about collaboration with this club.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the events are tailored to like future careers that you might have in the science field. So like one of the events I competed in was forensics, and so you actually were in a practical lab situation where you're trying to identify different types of materials that you'd find on a crime scene. So I think it's really good with like preparing you for your future, especially if you want to go into a science career.
Oh my gosh, how interesting. That's awesome. So you just described a little bit about what competition day is like. So can you explain a little bit to me? So once you walk into the building, once you set foot on the campus of your competition site, what exactly can one anticipate from that day? So like what can you expect from that?
Well, there's a lot of different schools and teams that come to participate in the different regional competitions. I know that at our competition alone, there was about 27 high school teams that we were competing against from all over the state of Florida, from like Fort Myers to Tampa, Hillsborough, that area. And so everyone will set up like their little camps for their schools. And basically it's like a whole day affair. So from 7 in the morning when you get there and set up your camp until like 5 in the afternoon when the award ceremony starts.
Yeah.
And so when your events aren't going on, you're like helping other people study for their events. So you're sitting there like playing games with your friends or something. So it's pretty relaxed, especially once your events are over with because you're not studying anymore.
Yeah, so you guys aren't necessarily inside the building, but you're outside. Everybody's actually camped outside the building.
Like we put up a whole tent and chairs and
Oh my gosh, that's fun.
That's just like I'll just hang out and have a good time.
That's so unlike anything else that we have. Like most competitions, I feel like you just walk into a building, you sit, you prepare, and then you do the competition. But that's awesome that you guys actually, you guys have a lot of team bonding experiences with that. So what exactly is your favorite team bonding exercise or some experiences that you've had with that?
Well, we were waiting for the award ceremony at Saturday for the competition, and we just found a frisbee and we started just throwing it around and just like for like an hour and a half, and it was like a really good time.
Yeah,
because most of us were seniors, but then we had one junior and a couple sophomores, and it allowed us to we welcome them in, and we started becoming friends with them, and we even made friends with some of the people we almost hit with the frisbee. So
So are there any other different experiments or things that you do even during meetings or something that you bring like team bonding experiences that you actually bring the team closer together with other members in the club that are like less experienced in the club, I should say? How do you guys necessarily incorporate them into the family of Science Club?
Yeah, I would say that recycling is definitely something that helps with that because it's kind of like a regular affair where we get to spend time walking around the campus with people and like getting to know them. But then also like at the beginning of the year when we have our initial meetings, like sometimes we'll bring snacks to the meetings, or we'll when we talk about things like our t-shirt design, we can kind of get the input of the club members on that. So that kind of brings us together. But I would say of all the clubs I've been in, Science Club is definitely very relaxed, and I think that's one of the appeals of it because even though you get a lot out of the club,
for sure,
you can kind of know that like there's not a lot of pressure on you, so you can kind of work at your own pace.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, so back to the competitions, I hear that there's, like you said before, there's another competition that you just recently added called the Envirothon. How is that different from your other competitions, and how those other experiences are different from the team bonding to the actual tests and experiments? How does that differentiate?
Well, the Envirothon, like it was our first year competing in it, and so unlike a lot of the science Olympiad events where it's just two people working together, but there's a lot of different events you can do, it's just one big event, like everyone competes in the same things. And so you have a team of 5 students, and you work together on tests in categories like aquatics, soils, forestry, and wildlife.
Oh my gosh.
And so the strategy is like each person will study a different thing so that they're have a lot of knowledge in that one area, but you don't have to spread yourself too thin. And so you spend the whole day at the Oscar Scherer Park down in Sarasota. And you go around to different stations and take your tests. Sometimes there's a practical element to it. I know with the wildlife one, we have to identify different tracks from animals.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that one's more hands-on, I would say, with nature than the Science Olympiad.
Okay, so how'd you get involved? How'd you find that Envirothon, and how did you incorporate that into your schedule this year?
Well, our Science Club advisor, Ms. Frouth, she had actually done Envirothon with some students from her previous high school where she had taught at, and because she taught environmental science there, and so she kind of wanted to bring it back to Southeast, but no one had really been up to taking on that challenge, especially seniors, we're super busy. But this year, with doing IB biology, our optional topic that we're studying is ecology, so we're wow, this would be a really good place, to test our skills, and so it really helped us study.
Oh my gosh, well, I love that. That's awesome. I want to join Science Club now. So since you all participated in Envirothon and Science Olympiad, did any of you receive awards through that, or what was the outcome of those 2 competitions this year?
Well, for Envirothon, we won 2nd place in the Manatee County division part of it.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then at Science Olympiad, Wesley and I in the designer genes event, which is a genetics and heredity test, we got 2nd place in the region in that. And then my partner and I, Elijah, we competed in the forensics event and we got 1st place in that. So we've kind of had a bad luck streak the past few years with Science Club, only placing 3rd at the highest in our events, but this year we're finally able to break that streak. So hopefully we'll continue to get better in the future.
Again, I say congratulations. That's awesome. Thank you. So like you said in the past, you've had sort of a streak. What other awards have you gotten through the club or through those other events? Or even at the end of the year, I don't know if you have a ceremony or something, or how have you guys distributed those awards, or what awards have you won through the club?
Well, I think I'm the only one who's been in it for 4 years, but I know my sophomore year, My partner and I competed in ecology and we got 3rd place in that, and then some other people in our club last year got 3rd place in forensics. And that's kind of like the only awards we won at the regional level. So we're hoping to get better, and I think this year we're thinking about doing like a banquet to celebrate our achievements this year, because we've really kind of stepped it up, I think, in terms of competitions from the past few years.
Oh, good. Well, I look forward to hearing about that banquet. It sounds like you guys are going to have a lot of fun. And so since all of you are officers, like I previously said, how do you think your position will affect your future and your future goals and aspirations as you guys enter college and your majors? Like I said, that you want to go into bio research and medical research and such. Since you all want to enter the medical field, how else do you think your skill set has been affected?
Well, I guess I'll start because I was the president of the club. I definitely think that being the president of a club is like, I guess this is kind of obvious, but like a lesson in leadership. And so knowing that you have a lot of responsibilities, like filling out the registration for your team and making sure that you get everything, like your t-shirts in on time, because all your club members are depending on you to be able to compete in this thing that they've been preparing for. You kind of have to balance that with the schedule of things outside the club, and that's definitely been something that I've been working on this year. Being a senior, it's been super busy, but I've had to make sure that I have fulfilled my duties to the club. And I think that that'll be something that I could use in the future, whether it's like leading a research team or a research project.
Yeah.
So definitely that was something that I think I've improved this year.
Oh my gosh. Well, then how about you, Lauren? How about you would go about using your skill set from Science Club in your future?
Well, I was the treasurer, so really just like the beginning of the year, just collecting the dues and going around and making sure, finding people who I knew were interested and like making sure that they had the forms to fill out to join us and paying the $20 dues. I mean, money is always an important thing to know how to deal with. So, you know, that's always going to be helpful.
Well, yeah, obviously. And then Wesley, how do you think your future will be affected by being in this club?
Well, I mean, I'm the historian, so I can use my photography skills to help like document the club for future like kids when we graduate. And like I want to go to the medical field too. It's just like good experience learning about other sciences that you wouldn't get to learn about in school, and more collaborative skills with other people.
Oh, for sure. Well, it sounds like you guys all have bright futures ahead of you. So before you leave here at Southeast, what has been your favorite part about being in this club? What would you like to take away from this club, from this experience?
Well, having been involved with it for 4 years, I think definitely something I've appreciated about Science Club is like the laid-back atmosphere.
Yeah.
So like not taking yourself too seriously and being able to laugh at yourself when you trip up or make a mistake is definitely something that I've learned, because I'm always like super competitive and detail-oriented, but this has kind of gotten me to like relax, not taking myself too seriously, and still be able to learn something. So that's something I've really enjoyed about Science Club.
Yeah, and it's been a great way to meet new people and like make new friends, and everyone's just so friendly, and it's just a good time, because like after competitions we like go out to dinner and celebrate, and it's like just a good time.
Oh, good. Well, how about you, Lauren? What has been your favorite part of this, being in this club?
Well, I definitely like giving out the opportunity to have to study for tests, because like normally, because I'm going into the profession and I would always like to do self-studying, but you know, you never really do that. So this just gives me the opportunity to do it, and it gets me excited for my future, because it's like Wesley and I did the anatomy test, and that's like most basic review, and it's like I'm gonna have to know this for my whole life, so it's like it feels very practical, and it's like good motivation to want to do good for the club, because it's gonna help me for always. So.
Well, I know I'm definitely about to join this club for next year, so how might one go about finding more information about joining this club or participating, or what other requirements do you need to be a member of this club?
Well, if you want to join, you could always go see our advisor, Ms. Routh, in room 906, and she could give you the information that you need, like the application that we have. It's only like a $20 membership fee, and we just need basic information, like what classes you've taken, so we know what events that you might do well in. Like if you've taken a lot of biology, then we might place you in like anatomy or something. And that's pretty much it. The requirements for being in the club are like pretty low. We just want you to be able to learn and like be invested in growing your knowledge.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciated learning more about Science Club, and I'm definitely going to go join it, like I said. So you all have such amazing futures ahead of you, and I look forward to hearing about all your successes that you have in the future medical field and the world, and who knows, maybe curing cancer. Don't change the channel just yet. We'll be right back with more that you won't want to miss.
That's all the time we have for today. We want to thank you for watching.
And we want to thank the members of Model United Nations and Science Club for joining us today.
We hope that you've enjoyed the program as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you.
And we hope that you will join us next month when we will be showing you what's happening in and around Southeast High School.
If you'd like to keep up with all that we do here at SCTV, visit our website at sctv.news.
Our website has student work, class lesson plans, and information on getting involved with SCTV.
To tune into all of our live broadcasts, give our Facebook page a like so you can catch all the action. You can find us at facebook.com/SEHS television. I'm Jazlynn.
And I'm Liz. And remember that when you set your compass to Southeast, you're headed in
the right direction.